All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. This is Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief Podcast, episode 989. Today is October 22nd, 2025, Wednesday, a.k.a. Worldwide Wednesday, a.k.a. Hump Day. Guys, if you're looking to stay current on the cybersecurity industry by getting updated threat intelligence information to enable you to be a better practitioner, whether you're GRC, blue team, red team, whatever team you're on, you're part of the cyber community, you need to stay current. This show right here is the answer on how to do it. On top of that, look at this community, straight ballers left, right, and center. So community, leveling up, being the CEO of you. That's what we're doing over the next hour. This is your Daily Cyber Threat Brief. Let's go. All right, we're off and running. Want to say good morning to Mara Levy, Marcus Kyler, Carrie, Chocolate, Trachia 290, Genis X with the blue badge. What's up, Escol07 and Jose Alfredo? My man Grady, Devin Grady, new SC Kick member, straight crushing it like a boss. We got sound effects back, Space Tacos, so we are off and running. Guys, I want to say thank you all so very much. It's great to be with you. Hump day, middle of the week, everybody grinding through, getting it done. Did you know that every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, including this one, is worth half a CPE? So say what's up in chat, grab a screenshot, divide by 2 once a year. That's how many CPEs you got. You get the screenshot and file it away only in the event that you're audited by that cybersecurity certification company. You don't need to do it. You can just capture, but it's easier for yourself to keep track of how many CPEs you got. And if you ever need to prove it, you have that as well. Just looking through the news today, we've got some great ones. Russian hackers replacing malware, Windows updating, causing login problems. A little from column A, a little from column B. We got a mixed bag today. It's nothing outrageous. It's no AWS BGP to DNS server outage, but not every day can be like that. What's up, T-Ack? Good to see you in chat, the blue badge. Straight kicking it, and Steve Young. We got Simply CyberCon coming up in just a few weeks. Final details being put together for that. Very excited. We got the badges in. We got the lanyards in. We got the stickers in. We got the bags in. We got the shirts. We got the printouts. The team is really coming together, and it's absolutely epic. I love it. If today is your first episode, hey, Omatola Agbana, good to see you in chat. If today's your first episode, say what's up in chat with a hashtag first timer. Hashtag first timer. We're not trying to call you out so we can point at you. We're trying to call you out so we can properly welcome you. We have a special sound effect. We have a special emote. We have a very special way of welcoming you because we want you to feel welcomed and part of the circle. We are a very inclusive community. And anyone who wants to be here that's got the right attitude, get in here. You are more than welcome. Find the true two. Good to see you. As always, we have a special activity, and Wednesdays is Worldwide Wednesday. Typically, we do the mid-roll activity, but Worldwide Wednesday, we're going to show you in a hot minute just how amazing this community is. Australia, I hope you're online. We missed Australia last week, which was actually last week was last week? Yeah, we did it last week. 2 weeks ago was Wild West Hackin' Fest. Jesus. I don't know about you guys, but I've lost track of all time. It's just bananas, busy everywhere. So thank you very much. Before we get into it, let me say shout out and love to the stream sponsors who enable me to bring this show to you. Starting with Anti-Siphon Training. Anti-Siphon Training is disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by offering high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position. If you go to antisiphotraining.com, look at their live training calendar, you can see this is the month of October. And here we go. Today is October 22nd. At noon today, Tim Fowler is going to be doing an Anticast, absolutely free for anyone to sign up. If you're interested in cybersecurity and outer space, Tim Fowler's your man, and he's going to be talking about red teaming in space. This isn't a joke. This is legit. Tim is kind of the resident space cyber guy. Just like when I think of OSINT, I think of Michelle Kahn and Dennis Keith. When I think of space, I immediately think Tim Fowler. Talk about branding, am I right? So if you're interested in cybersecurity and space, even if you're not interested in red teaming, it'd just be great to get some exposure today at noon. Go register for that. Looks like we had a first timer in chat. Hold on now. Hold up. Aiden Ikeka Rumat 5245. Welcome to the party, pal. Also saw some folks on LinkedIn. Confidence Eka. Confidence. Good to see you. Holla. Hashtag first timer. Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
All right. All right. Also want to say shout out and love to Flare Academy. I think, no. Delete me. I screwed up the sponsor reads last week, so I'm trying to like unwind them. Quick little delete me ad here. Many of you know I use Delete Me. Several of you in the community use Delete Me. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. Delete Me does all the hard work of wiping you and your family's personal information from the data broker websites. Delete Me knows your privacy is worth protecting. Sign up and provide Delete Me with exactly what information you want deleted, and their experts take it from there. As someone with an active online presence through Simply Cyber, privacy is really important to me. I have kids. I shared pictures from a wedding just yesterday. AB knows what I'm talking about. My wife, my kids, I love them. They're part of the community as well, but also I would like to protect them. And my home address is something I don't want out on the internet. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and use promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber, enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber, code simplycyber. Now, speaking of my kids, we're going to have a abbreviated jawjacking after the show today because my son, Callan, is being recognized for academic excellence at school. 9:45 puck drop. So we're going to scoot on over there and be there to support him and let him know that his parents love him, and we are super pumped for his academic achievements, boss. All right, so we did Delete Me, we did Anti-Siphon. We'll do a barricade at the mid-roll, and then, Threat Locker. All right, hey, quick. Go get your coffee, go get your things, whatever. We're going to hear from Threat Locker, and then when I come back, we're going around the world. Let's go. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, Threat Locker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with Threat Locker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust Threat Locker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. Threat Locker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how Threat Locker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. All right. Hey, quick shout out to Phil Stafford. Happy birthday, Phil Stafford. We see Phil Stafford in chat. Good friend, part of the San Francisco sound machine up there, the Silicon Valley sound machine. And, just a good guy in general. So Phil Stafford, happy birthday. All right, guys. You may hear the sounds of Daft Punk. What does that mean? It means we're going around the world, everyone. Woo! All right, so what do? We're going to set the timer for 2 minutes, 22 seconds. I'm going to ask you where you are. You tell me. It turns into a frantic crap show, but it's so worth it. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Timer set. I want to show you just how amazing this community is. You guys ready? Let's go. Where are you at? We'll start with Phil Stafford and the San Francisco Sound Machine in America. Boom. All right, Texas is in the house. Greenville, South Carolina. What's up, upstate? Clay Shannon, thanks for the squad membership. All right, Columbus, Georgia's in the house. Tom Marquette, turned 30 on Monday. Official Isaiah, welcome to the party and happy birthday. Alabama, what's up? Huey Booey coming out of Canada. Romania, Dragos, always showing up. I love it, dude. San Francisco, thanks for getting up early. Daylight in the UK. Warren, Michigan, Minnesota, New York City, baby. Miami, Florida, you know the sound machine. Chi-Town, Dirty Jersey, Ethiopia. Way to go, Medine G, bringing Africa online. Colombia, Andres Molina. Guys, now we're flexing. We are flexing. Look at this. We've already got most of the continents. Tanzania, more Africa being represented. Come on, Michigan. Baltimore, Maryland, what's up? I see you. OK City, Australia, hello. Andrews Gartner, making Australia online. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Columbia, Juan David, next to Andres Molina, Columbus, Georgia. What's up? North Fork, Long Island. Cyprus is in the house. I do not know where that is. So, whoops. Where's Cyprus? Okay, Cyprus, we marked it. Suffolk, UK in the house. What up? Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nice. Trinidad, Tobago represent. The Philippines, Triple D. Thank you, Triple D. We just went around the world. Hell yeah, baby. Togo. Where's Togo? I don't even know where Togo. Thank you. Marcus Kylie gave me a cheat sheet. So Togo's right there next to Ghana. West Virginia. Yes, sir. Tempe, Arizona. Good to see you. Hey, France. Carrie's in the house with France. Wow. Okay. So check this out. We are going to do a quick debrief. I got the mods in chat. Cyprus, Suffolk, Kenya. We missed Kenya. Where are you, Kenya? Kenya. All right. Hold on, Kenya. Oh, my God. Not Kiribati. There we go. Look at this. I don't know what's going on in this part of Africa, but you guys are like dialed into cyber and IT. Bangladesh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. There we go. Norway. Oh, my God. Scandinavia, line 2. See you. All right. Bangladesh, France, Togo, Australia, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Trinidad. Okay. I think we got them all. Guys, let's just do a quick inventory. North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Hey, congratulations, everybody. This is what I'm talking about when I say we have a inclusive, diverse, just absolute baller community. Hashtag Team SC. This is what I'm talking about. This is not an echo chamber, guys. This is so cool. And by the way, shout out because this is a live show. It's 8 a.m. Eastern here on the East Coast. But people like Carrie and Phil Stafford, Elliot Matisse, you guys are getting up 5 a.m. Left Coast. Australia, you guys are going to bed, right? Triple D's in the Philippines, very late there. So I want you to know it doesn't go unnoticed. And by the way, this is exactly why when I go on travel, I do the daily cyber threat brief at whatever time zone I'm in. It doesn't matter. 8 a.m. Eastern is where it's at. That's why I get up at 5 or 4 on the left coast, is because it would be so disingenuous for me to be like, oh, it's so early, I can't do it. F that noise, dude. We are live. We are real. Now do me a favor. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. I'll see you guys at the mid-roll.
CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. I'm Sarah Lane. Russian state hackers replace burned malware with new tools. Google's threat intelligence team says Russian state-backed hacking group Cold River, also known as Star Blizzard or Callisto, has developed 3 new malware strains: No Robot, Yes Robot, and Maybe Robot, after its previous Lost Keys tools was exposed back in May. The new tools are said to be deployed more aggressively than any previous campaigns, designed to evade detection and steal data from high-value targets. Google believes that Cold River is now using custom malware to gather deeper intelligence from already phished victims.
Okay. So the No Robot, Yes Robot, Maybe Robot, that's just a naming convention for the malware payloads. I guess that's what the Russians called it, whatever. So two things. Number one, Russian state-sponsored threat actors are legit. You've got to be on the lookout for them, obviously. Secondly, the initial payload is delivered through a fake CAPTCHA page. It doesn't say it, but I'm assuming this is a click fix type attack, where basically this attack is quite popular, and essentially it is taking advantage of the fact that people have become desensitized to CAPTCHAs, and they'll just mindlessly click through it in order to get to like whatever it is that they want on the other side of the CAPTCHA. Unfortunately, the CAPTCHA is malware, and they're tricking the people into running a PowerShell command of some sort. Hold on one second. I've got a little stool here, and I wanna put my leg up like Captain Morgan for some reason. All right, there we go. Oh yeah, now I went running yesterday. My hamstrings are wicked tight, so like I'm like right now I'm like putting the vibe out basically. Whoops! If you were to see me, no one wants to see that. Okay. So what are we doing here? Yeah. So anyways, once you run it, the initial payload, yes robot runs and then pulls down no robot runs and pulls down yes robot. So classic, basically PowerShell cradle to pull down second stage payloads from some, C2 infrastructure or threat actor controlled malware. So basically, this is cool. This is great to see, but really all you gotta do is educate your end users to not fall for fake CAPTCHAs, right? Number one. Number two, if you can, disable PowerShell from my Aunt Dorothea's computer. She doesn't need to run that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And then on top of that, if you can, EDR solutions, potentially. I haven't said this in a minute, but one idea, if you have time, most of us do not have time to do this, but you could go to a site like Malware Bazaar or where do you like to get your malware? VX Underground, right? I think Malware Bazaar is where I like to. It's where I like to shop for my malware. I don't know about you guys. Obviously, disclaimer: don't F with malware unless you know what you're doing. Okay, you could possibly infect yourself. Oh my god, dude! What? Click on the object that's different. There's like 3 pineapples and a dog pooping. Are you serious right now? Bro. Oh. All right, here we go. Malware Bazaar. And you could see here's all the different malware that you can pull down, et cetera, et cetera. Again, don't do this if you don't know what you're doing. I'm going to type in the word robot, and I can't find any. So, unfortunately, I was hoping to be able to pull down. You can't pull down lost keys either. Okay. I was just going to say, if you do get a payload of this malware or whatever, you could run it in a controlled environment with your EDR solution, basically to see if your EDR would stop this from running, detect it, behavior-based, or, you could develop some type of detection for it. Remember, it's not always about stopping it. You do want to stop it from running, but at the same time, it would be nice to detect it if it does run. So let's see. Yeah, you can see here, it's believed to be running under Russian intelligence services. Definitely a sophisticated threat actor, not one that you want to mess with. That's my guidance on this one. Also, Google Intelligence is very, very good. Google Threat Intelligence. So if you're looking for like some valid threat intelligence feeds, Google Tag. I don't know if they call it the Google Tag anymore. It used to be called Tag, but Google Threat Intelligence Group, so I guess Google TIG is what it's called now, is very, very good. Okay. Also, hey, I didn't say this in the intro, but for you first-timers, I don't research or prep for these. I literally have no idea what the stories are about to be. I know the next one has something to do with Windows updates, but that's about it. So you're getting my rough, rugged, raw initial first impressions. You know why I don't research in advance?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Recent Windows updates caused login issues on some PCs. Microsoft says that Windows updates released since August 29th are breaking logins on systems with duplicate security identifiers, or SIDs, causing Kerberos and NTLM authentication
Oh my gosh.
failures across Windows 11 24H2, 25H2, and Windows Server 2025. The issue appears to stem from a new security check that rejects authentication between devices sharing SIDs, often created when systems are cloned without using sysprep. Microsoft recommends rebuilding affected systems or contacting support for a temporary group policy fix.
Okay, so a couple things. Number one, and I shouldn't have laughed because I like to help people, not make fun of them. Just as a best practice, this is pronounced Kerberos. The reporter Sarah Lane absolutely butchered this word, but Kerberos is how you pronounce it. So I want to make sure that you say it correctly in, at work or in circles. But Kerberos, also, if you're interested, Kerberosting, a technique developed by Tim Medine, is how you attack Kerberos. But essentially, this shouldn't come as a surprise. Basically, Windows Update caused an issue, not everybody's issue, but it duplicated the SIDs. The SIDs are the unique identifiers. This is very similar to like having two endpoints on a network with the same IP address, and there's going to be conflicts. The way to fix this is to rebuild the machine. The way it happened is because they cloned a machine or they duplicated a machine and it brought all the SIDs over. Listen, if you take a snapshot of a machine and then you rebuild it on a separate machine, it's like multiplicity with Michael Keaton, right? Drink, you're going to have, it's identical. It's an identical thing, right? So it's going to cause conflicts, obviously. I don't think this is going to happen in many places. There's a couple things that have to happen for this to work, but essentially you're going to know because you're going to be unable to authenticate into the box. Definitely a problem. Definitely difficult to troubleshoot, by the way. This would not be my first thought of like what could be wrong, is that it's a duplicate SID. If you are getting failed login attempts when using valid creds, you will see a sec-e no cred error in event viewer. To me, this is like the smoking, not smoking gun, but this is like the confirmed indicator that this is your problem. Yes, this is an issue for cybersecurity professionals, but really, you might want to fire this over to IT, I suppose. Realistically, guys, I got to tell you, realistically, this patch is from August, right? I'm just doing some back of the napkin math here. August 29th, right? So all of September, most of October. So this issue is like 2 months old. Okay. Like, I don't even know why this is like news, honestly. Like, I try to be really positive and optimistic, but like, what are we doing here? So if you're going to have this issue in your environment, there is an incredibly high probability you've already encountered it and had to work through it and probably like solved the problem by getting frustrated and just rebuilding the box because everything else failed. So, if anything, you can share this with IT. They probably already know. What I would do is I would just file this in your own personal memory bank of like, okay, like these are some of the issues that can happen in Windows environments. If you're interviewing for a job in cybersecurity, maybe like, more of a junior level role, your first role in cyber, this is a good back pocket thought to keep in mind. You might be asked something around the lines in an interview of like, give me some examples of things that could look like a cyber attack that might not necessarily be a cyber attack, right? That AWS outage yesterday was like a junior engineer updating BGP and causing a massive outage, not a cyber attack. This is another one. Dude, Microsoft introduced this bug into their environment, and operating system source code is very, very complex. So it's not a surprise, okay? But anyways, you are absolutely not pausing the stream and doing anything with this one because it's already done.
Sophisticated campaign targets servers of high-profile organizations. Kaspersky researchers say that a Chinese-speaking threat actor is likely behind the Passive Neuron campaign, which has targeted government, financial, and industrial servers across Asia, Africa, and Latin America since 2024. The campaign uses custom implants NeuroSight and Neural Executor, along with Cobalt Strike, to exploit SQL servers and maintain persistence via large disguised DLL files. Kaspersky says that the group's tactics align with Chinese APTs, although attribution remains low confidence.
All right. So Microsoft SQL servers are database servers. They're quite popular, and they're well known. Okay, so it's not uncommon to have high value targets that are SQL servers, right? Sometimes realistically, SQL servers should not be internet facing. Okay, like if you look at a standard web application design pattern, it's called the model view controller. I'm putting on my nerd software engineer hat here, but the model view controller design pattern, it looks like this. Okay, very basic. But this is how modern SaaS applications work, okay? The model on the left is the database, okay? The view is the app server. It's the thing that your users interface with. And the controller is the middleware, basically, okay? That's all you got to know. The controller is the middleware between the app and the database on the back end. Normally, this yellow thing, hey, G1Z Finest Grand Risings, good morning to you. Happy cup of coffee there, my friend. Thank you. So normally your end users are interfacing with the view, and then the view through, controlled, function calls, validated inputs, etc., is touching the database through the controller function calls. Okay. So now that we've done that, the more you know. For this, Chinese-based threat actor, realistically, they should be compromising credentials, front end, technically exploiting app servers and stuff like that, and then laterally moving into databases and then taking those over. Obviously, compromising SQL servers is not a good thing. You do not want that ever in your environment. They're targeting government, financial, and industrial organizations in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. That's very much on brand for China. They said it's allegedly China, so I will also say allegedly. But government, financial, and industrial, high-value targets. If your goal is espionage or financial gain, these are definitely where you want to go. Let's see what you can do about it. If you work in finance, industrial, like, whatever, like critical infrastructure, something like that. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to figure out if there's any kind of IOCs for you guys to look for. It says in one case, they observed attackers gained initial remote code execution capabilities on the compromised server through the Microsoft SQL software. That's interesting. So, it isn't, see, they say they don't know how the SQL software got compromised. I don't either, because usually it's not internet facing. Maybe they did some type of like SQL injection. So really quickly, even though the model view controller has you over here, a SQL injection attack will allow you to exploit the application layer to modify or manipulate the database backend. That is quite possible what happened. If I had to bet $100 on it, that's what I think happened here is SQL injection. The other thing I want to point out that most people don't think of is that SQL Server is just a fat application that sits on a Microsoft server operating system. So if you can manipulate SQL Server at the app layer and go down and execute operating system level commands, then you can do all sorts of things like, create new accounts on the Windows box. You can reach out and pull down payloads. You can create reverse shells, etc. Okay, so there's a lot of data and value in the SQL Server itself, but know that that SQL Server could have vulnerabilities which could allow compromise of the operating system underneath it. So don't get wrapped around the axle. When I was younger and earlier in my career, I didn't really reconcile the fact that, SQL Server, even though it's a server, it's just an application sitting on a Microsoft Windows Server operating system. All right, let's keep going.
CISA adds new flaws to known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. CISA added high-severity vulnerabilities in Oracle e-Business Suite, Microsoft Windows SMB Client, Contigo Experience CMS, and Apple JavaScript Core to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. These flaws could allow data theft, privilege escalation, and remote code execution. Federal agencies have to patch them by November 10th, and private organizations are advised to update affected systems.
You gotta patch it. All right, so really quickly, if you didn't know, CISA, Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, maintains this catalog of known exploited vulnerabilities, okay? So what I want to share with you is more about the catalog, less about these very specific vulnerabilities. Remember, vulnerabilities are just like weaknesses. They don't mean they're exploited, right? So I go to this one all the time. Like if you left for work today and left your front door unlocked, that doesn't mean you got robbed, right? If you go in the mall or the movie theater or whatever, and you forget to lock your car, that doesn't mean your car got broken into and the glove box rummaged through, right? If you leave the car running and run into the store, it doesn't mean someone stole your car, okay? It's just a vulnerability. It's a weakness that allows for the opportunity of that consequence to be realized. If you lock your car and go in the store, yeah, someone could break into your car, but the likelihood, hello, GRC Mafia on line 2, the likelihood goes down. The impact doesn't change. Someone could still steal your car, but the likelihood goes down. So with the known exploited vulnerability catalog, we have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of vulnerabilities. If you've worked in an organization of any reasonable size and run a vulnerability scanner, you're probably almost overwhelmed by the number of findings. You can't patch them all. We joke about, oh, you got to patch it. You got to patch it. But realistically, dudes, you're going to have open vulnerabilities that you can't patch for numerous reasons. So how do you prioritize? Oh, well, hello, CISA's on line 1. They'd like to talk to you. They have released this known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, which tells you vulnerabilities that are being actively exploited in the wild by threat actors. Again, this is the equivalent of leaving your house unlocked, right? And then CISA's saying, hey, if you live in these neighborhoods, or if you have this type of front door, there are threat actors that are actively breaking into homes with this type of front door. Or, hey, if you're driving this type of car and you park at, Food Lion, there's an uptick in activity of people stealing those cars at Food Lion, right? It's the analogy's, a little janky, but you get my point, right? This helps you prioritize. Hey, if we're running Contigo Experience, these are actively being exploited. That's a problem. If we're running Microsoft Windows, which of course all of us are, there's a problem. This Oracle e-Business Suite, now, for what it's worth, CISA is like way behind the curve on this one. What's the date on this one, dude? October 21st? Jesus criminy. All right, here's the deal. This Oracle e-Business Suite is a perfect example. Realistically, you should have already fixed this one. Harvard Business or Harvard University got screwed by this a couple weeks ago. There's been multiple instances of this Oracle e-Business Suite being attacked. In fact, we covered this at Wild West Hacking Fest at Deadwood Live. So the timeliness of this known exploited vulnerability catalog, at least this alert is kind of old. Here, I'm actually kind of curious when this got added. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry. Hold on one second. Dude, they just added this. This is the #1 result. Dude, okay, so whatever. I guess information's better than no information, but this is definitely dated. If you're running Oracle e-business suite server, yeah, it's being actively exploited. You should absolutely go and patch it. All right, let's keep going.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, ThreatLocker. Imagine having the power to decide exactly what runs in your IT environment and blocking everything else by default. That is what ThreatLocker delivers. As a zero-trust endpoint protection platform, ThreatLocker fills the gaps traditional solutions leave behind, giving your business stronger security and control. Don't just react to threats, stop them with ThreatLocker.
Yeah, it's a good point, Marcus Kyler. The United States federal government is still technically shut down, so that is, I know, critical. I have friends that work in the government. I actually called them recently to check on them, and the ones that I've spoken to were deemed, whatever, critical or necessary or whatever. They're still not getting paid, but there's a law that says they will get back pay. So, whatever. All right, let's do this. Continuing to mid-roll these things. All right. Hey, guys, quick little shout out. Thank you all so very much for being here. I hope you're getting value from the show. If you're a long timer like AB, Alpha Sierra, Marcus Kyler, Roswell UK, I just want to say thanks for coming back. Thanks for being a member of the community. I know I'm going to get to see some of you at Simply CyberCon. Very excited about that. For those that I won't see, you'll be there in spirit, and I hope you can catch it. If you can't attend live, I hope you can attend virtually. We are excited about that. We do have 2 CTFs for people to participate in this year. Shout out to the stream sponsors, Anti-Siphon, Delete Me, ThreatLocker, and Barricade Cyber Solutions. Guys, Barricade Cyber Solutions, did you know Barricade Cyber Solutions is doing a webinar series absolutely free? You can go today at 1 p.m. and hear from Eric Taylor in the Fortify 365 webinar series. This series is designed to help IT admins, security analysts, CISOs, and anyone interested in learning more about securing their Microsoft 365 environment. The series is going to scrape the surface when fortifying your Microsoft 365 environment. You can go to webinars.fortify365.com today to get registered for this. Again, free today at 1 p.m. Eric Taylor. If you're looking to understand a bit more about how to secure Microsoft 365, this is a solid opportunity for you guys. So jump on that. All right, we did Worldwide Wednesday at the beginning, so we have no mid-roll activity. Let me do this. Let's get back into the news, shall we?
Laser auto cyber attacks emerge. Researchers at France's Alternative Energies and Atomic Energy Commission, or CEA, and semiconductor firm Soitec have developed a new chip architecture called Fully Depleted Silicon On Insulator to defend against laser fault injection attacks targeting automotive microcontrollers. The design adds an insulating oxide layer that makes it harder to manipulate circuits with focused laser beams, including attacks that can flip bits or bypass authentication. It also improves cost efficiency and helps automakers meet global cybersecurity standards.
Okay. All right. Okay. Freaking lasers. I just wanted sharks with freaking lasers. All right, guys. Listen, I like assess risk for a living. Okay. I like almost to a fault, like my daily life, whether I'm going to order chicken parm or eggplant parm, whether I'm going to get spicy. Oh, I got to fly tomorrow. Let's take the pad thai chemo spice level down to boring, so I don't have an upset tummy on the plane tomorrow. I live in risk. I love cybersecurity. I love assessing risk. It's for someone who enjoys doing analysis. Oh my God, I found my calling in GRC. I will tell you this. Laser beams for side channel attacks on microchips is never in my risk profile. When I'm threat modeling, I am not like, oh, yeah. let's go ahead and move forward with this project. Wait a minute. Hold up. Right? In the words of Dr. Dre, hold up, man. Smoke every day. Drink. Dude, this is not. So, way to go, whoever the manufacturer is that decided to put an extra layer of oxide on a microchip thing. Sounds like it does not impact performance, which is something that we want to be considerate of, but it makes it harder for a threat actor to use lasers to flip bits and do hardware attacks. Hardware attack, side channel attacks, hardware attacks is where you're physically manipulating, the circuitry or reading L2 cache memory, like in the Spectre meltdown type attacks. I'm telling you right now, dude, if you just pro tip, if you try to bring this to your CFO or CEO or to anyone and say oh, we gotta worry about this one. I wouldn't spend political capital on this. Okay. With all due respect, I don't know who's doing this. I don't know where this threat came from. They said a semiconductor manufacturing company is advocating for this microchip technology. I don't know, man. Again, I don't know. I didn't research this. Maybe this was a real problem. For me, in my dollar, this feels like this is an example. It feels like, so, hey, tinfoil hat. If you are a regular or a squad member, go in the squad tray and use the tinfoil hat. We use that as basically an asterisk when I'm about to spit something that's completely not based on anything. If I had to guess, this seems all day, every day to me to be a solution looking for a problem. Okay, this looks like something that some researcher, some engineer, some company developed this technique, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is great. We got to find a problem to solve with this thing so we can market it." Okay, so way to go. If it doesn't cost any more money, oxide all my semiconductors. If it costs more money, I'll take the non-oxide one, okay? If it impacts performance, I'll take the non-oxide one. If it costs the same and it doesn't impact performance, put it on all the things. I don't care, okay? And to the engineer who developed this, great work. I'm not trying to poo-poo it. It's just from a from a spend perspective, I'm not spending more to prevent this attack. This is definitely an attack I'm going to accept the risk on.
Hackers exploit 0 days at Pwn2Own Ireland. On the first day of Pwn2Own Ireland 2025, researchers exploited 34 0 days across devices, including QNAP and Synology NAS, printers, smart home gadgets, and networking equipment, earning $522,500 for the effort. Team DDoS chained 8 0 days to hack a QNAP router and NAS for $100,000, while Summoning Team led the leaderboard with $102,500. The contest, co-sponsored by Meta, QNAP, and Synology, awards 0-day exploits and promotes responsible disclosure, with vendors given 90 days to patch vulnerabilities before public disclosure. Glassworm.
Okay, so check it out. Way to go, Ireland. Face Doyle, good to see you in chat. I know you're, shaking a shillelagh. Is a shillelagh a club? Hold on. Shillelagh. It is, yeah. See, I kind of knew what I was talking about. Face Doyle, I don't even know if this is considered politically incorrect. So if I'm being discriminating, I'm sorry, Face Doyle. Face Doyle grabs his favorite shillelagh and shakes it and says, Pwn2Own Ireland, grab a Guinness, get in here. We're all about good times. Bro, this shillelagh has a mace on it. What are we doing here? That's a bit, this took a turn. Holy crap, dude. Okay, so check it out. Really quick, Pwn2Own. Normally, I've heard Pwn2Own is in Vancouver, Canada, but I guess they do it in multiple places now. Pwn2Own is kind of like the OG bug bounty focused competition. It's pretty cool. It's worth looking at. Now, typically when you do pwn to own, I don't know if they still do this, but it used to be, it's called pwn to own because if you pwn something, you get to keep it, right? So, famously, or not famously, but traditionally, Apple would release the new iPhone before it came out at pwn to own, and these security researchers would get all the hype and all the flowers for pwning the new iPhone before it comes out, right? So these Synology, these QNAP devices, they probably got to keep it. Obviously, they're getting straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie.
Cash prizes. I do want to point out, pwn to own is a lot of fun. If you win pwn to own, to me, it's a badge of honor. It's like a black badge, dude. Like I would put that on my resume at the top. Number two, I want to point out, because it seems like, oh my God, they just show up, get handed some tech, and they're instantly breaking it. My understanding is that the people at pwn to own are given the technology in advance. I don't know how far in advance, let's say 30 days. I'm not sure exactly, but they're given it in advance and they can hack on it and mess with it. And then when they arrive at the event, that's when they have to, do it again or demonstrate what they're doing. But they don't just show up and start hacking it like Gene or Hugh Jackman in Swordfish with the 9 computers, that ridiculous scene. They do have some awareness, right? I do want to point out, if you're running I do feel like QNAP is kind of like a low bar, right? They constantly have problems. But if you're running QNAP or the Synology B Station or any of these other ones, you're going to want to look for patches. You got to patch it. Rogue Cyber, nice job. Found a CVE. Hell yeah, dude. But yeah, 34 0 days. Very cool. If you're serious about security exploitation, security research, bug bounty, etc., pwn to own, I would argue, should be like on your vision board or like one of your career goals, because to me, it's super legit.
Tax VS Code supply chain. Researchers at Cybersecurity discovered a new self-propagating malware dubbed Glassworm, infecting around 36,000 developer systems by exploiting Visual Studio Code extensions. The worm uses invisible Unicode characters to hide its code, steals credentials from GitHub, NPM, and OpenVSX, installs remote access tools, and turns developer machines into criminal proxy nodes. It also uses the Solana blockchain and Google Calendar for command and control. Microsoft has since removed the infected extensions.
All right. Okay, hold on one second. All right, so this is honestly, this is like a nice little mixed bag of items. This is like a kitchen junk drawer, if you will. For those who are interviewing for jobs, listen up really quickly, because this one is cool. Like, if you can work this into a job interview, it would be very beneficial, I would argue. You don't need to be able to speak about Glassworm, okay, in this specific instance. That's not the key here. It is self-propagating, which is interesting. I'd like to understand that. But here's the deal. This is a supply chain attack, right? The code base is importing libraries that are compromised, right? So NPM, PyPy, those type of libraries get either existing code repositories get malware uploaded and committed to the code base, or, social engineering is using some type of lookalike library for developers to accidentally plug it in. Okay, so that's number one, supply chain attack. Number two, the actual threat actors are using Unicode, which is somehow invisible. So I'm assuming that, like, because they're using Unicode, it's not being rendered to the screen somehow. But when a computer or a interpreter or compiler like interprets the code or compiles the code, and really quickly, just so we are all on the same page, when you run code, right? When you run code or run software, there's a couple different ways to do it. The most common ways is either you compile it into machine code, and then you run the machine code. And this is how like executables, binaries, ELF files, like this is how they work. You use a compiler, and you can't read the code, right? You can disassemble it with like IDA and stuff like that, but like it's not, when you compile and then you decompile or disassemble with IDA, you're not looking at the code the way it was written. You're looking at a disassembled version of it. An interpreter is a process engine that takes in code and interprets it in real time. And this is like JavaScript or Perl or Python or something like that. And the key thing is with interpreters, you can read the source code because it's interpreting the source code at runtime versus compiled application, which is, you know, compiled and you can just execute it at any point. Okay, now that we understand that, what's interesting is the code is invisible through Unicode. I feel like this is interpreted, which is weird that you couldn't see it. You can't see it like that. I actually scrubbed down to see if there was a screenshot because it doesn't make sense to me why it's invisible, but it is. Okay. So that's another thing to bring up. This is an interesting technique for threat actors to have code that can be seen by an interpreter or a compiler and incorporated into the actual executable software, but is not visible to a human or a developer who would be looking at the code if they were doing some type of code review to see if they were ingesting malware into their code base. So this is what makes it novel, in my opinion. See, the malicious code literally disappears. All right. This is like obfuscation on steroids. Invisible to the human eye. This is what you should bring up in the job interview. This would be a banger. Also for for security people out there, defenders, SOC analysts, and stuff like that, you got to be mindful of this because this is a tricky TTP for a threat actor. Now, they use the blockchain for C2, which is kind of wild. Google Calendar invites, this has been a technique that's kind of cropped up recently as a popular technique for C2. The reality is anything can be used for C2. If you can get a computer to reach out and look at something, it can be used and weaponized as a C2. So anyways, yeah, okay. Final things here as far as how to defend against this. Let's see what they say. Mitigation. You can see here, no code repositories or marketplaces are safe. Can't really read it. There are IOCs, including the name of poisoned extensions, C2 and payload URLs, and persistence mechanisms. Really quickly, this is why this one's particularly gnarly, okay? Number one, the IOCs, the indicators of compromise, the things you can go threat hunting for. Your environment could be screwed right now. And how would you know? Go look for IOCs. All right, so the IOCs, poisoned extensions. Well, file names can be changed, right? So this is like a fine IOC, but trivial to adjust. C2 and payload URLs. Bro, may I remind you of the Pyramid of Pain? David Bianco. Oh my God. URLs. We'll say URLs are domain names, right? Even if a URL was an IP address, that's even easier than a domain name. But how difficult is it for a threat actor to change a URL? Simple, according to the Pyramid of Pain. So all of this is to say that our IOCs are not very good. The persistence mechanism is one that's decent. I don't know what their persistence mechanisms are as far as like scheduled tasks or something. Let's see if there's more information. They don't have any information on what the persistence mechanisms are, so that sucks. This is a gnarly one. For anyone that's a SOC analyst or blue teamer in chat, let me know your thoughts on this one. This one seems like a really... I could imagine more threat actors using this invisible Unicode approach because, frankly, it's effective.
Edge targets routers, an expanding botnet campaign. Polar Edge, a botnet malware targeting Cisco, Asus, QNAP, and Synology routers was first noticed back in February, with activity going back as early as June of 2023.
Hold on, I just interrupted that story really quickly. A couple people in chat pointing out that you can automate Unicode viewing. So if you're seeing invisible Unicode added to source code, that would be an indicator of compromise. So getting in front of it, very nice. Good morning, Nick.
It installs a TLS-based backdoor to fingerprint hosts, receive commands, and execute tasks while using anti-analysis techniques and process masquerading to evade detection. Polar Edge can operate in connect back or debug modes, and its purpose seems to be linked to building a large network of compromised devices, not unlike Ghost SOC's use of infected systems as SOC S5 proxies.
All right, we've got a, this infographic does have a caption. Just heads up, Hacker News. I see you. I appreciate it. Dude, graphics without captions piss me off. All right, so what are we looking at here really quickly? There is a botnet called Polar Edge that's out there growing. And it's looking at Cisco. It's looking at routers, Cisco, ASUS, QNAP, and Synology. I didn't realize Synology had routers. Hold on one second. Well, I will be a monkey's uncle. Synology does have routers. Wi-Fi routers, basically. Okay. Why you would have a Wi-Fi router on the internet is beyond me, but that's okay. We'll ask DJ BSEC to chime in at some point. All right. So the TLS-based ELF implant. This is not ELF, Will Ferrell movie. This is basically a Linux executable. I think this actually stands for executable Linux file. Fact check me on that one. So if you're running Windows, it's not a problem, right? But a lot of networking devices run Linux-based operating systems. So most networking devices run some flavor of Unix. So you're not going to get away from this one. Okay, threat actors are exploiting a 2023 bug in Cisco routers. Okay. Yeah, dude, here's the deal. Okay, check it out. Very simple. This is like a wicked overcomplicated like way to I mean, this is encrypted TLS. It's the way to send data in a secure way, okay? Polar Edge is going to move from the wget or a curl and then delete files in the cache. People don't understand why that's happening, but it's happening. If you reboot it, the backdoor does not guarantee persistence, so that's pretty good, although you're honestly not rebooting your networking devices that often. All right, here's what I'm going to tell you on this one, okay? Here's what I'm going to tell you on this one. Again, this Polar Edge, this botnet, it's attacking these devices, right? Cisco, ASUS, QNAP, Synology routers. If you're running those routers, you should be aware of it, and you should educate your networking team. Now, let me tell you the reality. Let's take a step back and actually, instead of treating the symptoms here, let's actually treat the underlying problem. When we talk about vulnerability management, right, whether it's misconfigurations, software vulnerabilities, etc., crappy credentials, a lot of times we're thinking of endpoints and servers, right? Your workforce is computers, maybe your workforce is cell phones, definitely the file servers, database servers, what application servers, etc., right? A lot of times people just forget about the networking devices, the firewalls, the switches, whatever. It's just, networking takes care of that. Now, a lot of times because of this, we miss. There is an oversight or a follow-up on the networking stuff because the networking team just takes care of it. I would implore you as a cyber professional, especially if you're in GRC, right? If you're like a director of IT, director of InfoSec, or a risk analyst or something like that, develop relationships with the networking team. Of all the places I've ever worked, the networking engineers typically are really, really smart. They're very good at tech, and they are pro security. They don't want a problem. They want to keep those packets flowing, but they don't want a problem. Okay. So they are amicable to working with you to reduce risk. So things like this are things that they need to be aware of and say, hey, listen, like, let's talk about how often you patch these things, how often you reboot these things. How are you doing authentication with these things? What user accounts are there? Internet facing ones. Do we have any detections? Like, you should be ingesting telemetry at a minimum from your internet facing assets, including networking devices, into some type of SIM in order to see if bad happens, or you can go threat hunting. Okay. So, and I mean, dude, honestly, QNAP and Synology, Pwn to Own Ireland, literally just hacked the crap out of QNAP and Synology devices, right? So again, I haven't heard anyone say this since the early 2000s, but if you think you're too small a business, or like, who's going to find this thing that I stuck out on the internet? That is a terrible strategy and not accurate. You will be discovered. In fact, the final thing I'll say before we wrap up today, I attended Jason Haddock's talk at Wild West Hackin' Fest, not his keynote, but he did another talk, right? And he literally, it was around bug hunting, and he literally said that he has ongoing scripts and things that are actively looking, that when a development server gets stood up, like let's say you're testing something and you build an internet facing server for 1 hour for dev and testing purposes, and then you tear it down. You might be like, well, what's the big deal? It was only up for an hour. Even if someone found it, they can't do anything, and likely they're not going to find it. Jason said, we have scripts running all the time that will send us a Slack note as soon as a device gets stood up. And he said, on average, it's up for about an hour. He said, we'll find it within about 30 seconds of it going online. And then we will stop and attack the crap out of it because we know we have an hour to attack it. So don't think you're hiding in the noise. You are not hiding. If you are putting something internet facing, it will be discovered. I promise you. In fact, like, go stand up a honeypot and watch. Within 5 minutes, it gets probed. All right.
I have some exciting news.
All right, hold on.
We are launching.
Here we go. All right. Hey, everybody. Great job. You first timers, come back tomorrow. We're going to roll it back at 8 a.m. Eastern time for episode 890 or 990 of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. We straight crushed it like a bunch of bosses. Don't go anywhere because we're going to flip it to Jawjacking. I got 15 minutes to give to you. And then I'm going to holla at my son, Callan, as he gets recognized in front of his peers and his school for academic excellence. Really proud of this kid. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. If you got to go, have a great day. Otherwise, see you at Jawjacking. Let's go.
Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Jawjacking. I'm your host, Two Thumbs, except you're only going to see one because I got hand in pocket. Jerry Guy. Coming hot off the heels of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief hosted by that nerd, Dr. Gerald Auger. Oh my God, Dr. Gerald Auger. All I do is eat risk. Like, dude, calm down with your risk stories. What's up, everybody? We're going to get 15 minutes of solid Jawjacking in before we peace out. We do have Simply ICS Cyber coming up at 9:30. So if you're looking to get some learning from Don Weber and Ton Van Norman on all of the ICS stuff, holla. Quick shout out to Real Bilbo. Big fan of Real Bilbo. Bruise and Hack's going to see him at Simply CyberCon. Jesse Johnson, Simply CyberCon. High fives and fist bumps abound. If you got a question, put it in chat with a Q, and I will answer as best I can. Here we go. First question coming out the gate. Mara Levy, anyone attending ISC Congress in Nashville? James O'Quigan is speaking. Nashville's a great city, guys. A solid hang, Nashville. I haven't been there in a few years, but like every time I've ever been to Nashville, solid. So let Mara Levy know. Irisquich loves herself some risk. Me too. All right, let's keep cooking here. All right. Where we at? So, let me see. What do I got for you guys? Guys, I am tired, but I'm ready. I'm like just so you guys know, I'm like fully back into paper magic. I've got a problem. I've got a real problem. Cyber Risk, which what are the ladies wearing to Simply CyberCon, casual or dressy? I cannot comment on this, but I would like to. Here, let me text Mrs. Auger. I will. Hold on one second. I'm going to get you an answer, Cyber Risk Witch. Hey, babe. Question during live stream right now about Simply CyberCon dress code for women, casual or dressy. Would you like to comment on this? Okay. So I've phoned a friend, as it were. So we'll see where that goes. But definitely drop your thoughts in chat. I would suspect casual, Cyber Risk Witch. Your favorite hacker t-shirt. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Kimberly Can Fix It weighs in. I love that. All right. Emilio Garcia says the presentation went well. When I got stuck, I thought, what would Jerry say? Give yourself a B-. Way to go, Amelia. Yep. Simply Cyber shirt. Okay, so Mrs. Auger said casually. Or excuse me, she said casual. Definitely. So there you go. You're getting it from the source. I do want to point out, hold on, drop link. I want to give you some suggestions here. Dennis Keefe said, Jerry, I can attest to the fact that after submitting dozens of apps, it was a Simply Cyber network connection that landed me my most recent job. Nailed it. Again, thank you, Dennis Keefe. Guys, I will never, ever, ever promise anyone a job. I can't promise you a job, but I can tell you for a fact, if you do the things that I say or other community members say, right? If you just follow the process, it will bear fruit. Dennis Keefe is another example. I don't want to say anyone's name particularly, but if they wanted to self-identify, I'm telling you, I know several people who just did the things and it worked out. Again, I can't tell you it will definitely work out. I can't tell you how long it will take to work out, but I will tell you it will work out. If you're doing the virtual Simply CyberCon, pajamas is the dress code. There you go, Space Tacos. Hey, do you know of a governance program that has a convergent process to build a governance consciousness? What? Fredo Fori. It sounds like you're trying to blend GRC and AI. I do not know of a governance program that has a convergent process to build governance consciousness. No, I don't know that. All right. Cyber Risk Witch is going to rare cowboy boots. Definitely an option. So Elliot says, is there a place to buy Simply Cyber swag? Yes, that's what we're trying to actually get right now. Hold on one second. Let's see if... Hold on. Check this out. So if you want... So because listen, it's not realistic to purchase like 200 shirts and have a bunch of merch because I don't want to have a warehouse of this stuff afterwards. So the Simply CyberCon 2025 official shirts are here. I'm going to drop a link to it. If you would like to order it, I actually ordered 3 yesterday. And it said it would be here October 27th to 29th. So there's still time to order it and get it before the conference happens. These are priced to not really generate a revenue. Okay. So this isn't like some cash grab that we're doing. The Simply CyberCon is a nonprofit event. Okay. It's separate from Simply Cyber. So Simply Cyber, what I run is for profit, right? I generate revenue. I pay bills. I, save a little bit. The conference is a 501(c)(3). It's totally separate. The finances are publicly viewable if you want to do that. But if you'd like to buy the merch, this is it right here. And quick shout out to Kimberly Can Fix It, who put this together. I'm going to pin this in chat. All right, 9:11. We got 4 more minutes until me and Mrs. Auger are going to go rain down love and adulation on my son. What's the standards for hospital? What is the standard for hospitals for compliance? Well, technically, I don't know what country you're talking about, but like in the United States, healthcare organizations that manage protected health information must comply with HIPAA, which is a federal law. But, and if they take credit cards, which many healthcare operations do, they would have to comply with PCI. So those are 2 standards. If it's a federal healthcare agency like HHS or the Veterans Affairs hospitals, they would have to comply with FSMA. So yeah, your question, while simple on the surface, actually, there's a lot of nuance depending on where the hospital is, who's organizing it, how's it being funded, how's it taking payments, and then if there's any type of framework that they're pushing for, they would have to comply with that as well. What are we doing here? Hold on. All right. Continuing to look at chat. Real Bilbo, I will definitely tell young Master Callan that you said congratulations. Thank you. Space Taco says, does the size range get extended? Some of us need options beyond 2X or 3X. Kimberly Can Fix It. Please address that. I don't know what the options are, but Kimberly, if you can, please let us know about the shirt sizes and confirming all merch is sold at cost. So there's $0 being made in this one. Hey, also as one quick update, I haven't checked this. You're going to watch this in real time with me. Let me see. What am I thinking here? Oh yeah, GoFundMe. All right, so we've yet to close this out. You can see that Black Hills did their $5,000 donation yesterday. There's still a missing $1,000 that I need to get with Black Hills for. Plus, in full transparency, there's $200 cash that we raised on the Friday of the Wednesday of Wild West Hack and Fest that I currently have. It's on my nightstand. I have to make a $200 donation to basically get that money in here. So once we add the $1,000 and then the $200, we're going to close this out and donate that $12,320 to Becky's Fund to help end domestic violence or help people in domestic violence situations. So very cool. Space Taco says Kimberly says the Gildan black color shirt has up to 5XL in the shop. So let's look at that one really quickly. What did she say? The Gildan black color shirt. Gildan. Yep, here you go, Space Taco. So check it out. or anyone really, if you go to the Gildan, Simply CyberCon Gildan Ultra Cotton Adult T-shirt, the black one actually opens up to 5XL. So if you do gray or if you do blue, well, if you do gray, you can't do it, but blue and black actually get up to 4XL, 5XL. So there are options there for everybody. All right, guys, I appreciate all of you. I want to say thank you very much. I'm going to go celebrate my son. Just as a quick note, not that you need me to tell you, but I would just remind you, tell somebody that you care about today how you feel about them, right? You never know. Crap happens, man. I'm a big fan of letting people know how I feel, because you never know what tomorrow is going to bring. So I'm going to go tell my son I love him. I'm going to go tell my wife I love her. I tell my wife I love her all the time, though. And guys, have a great day. We will be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. for the live show. But don't sleep on Simply ICS Cyber, coming up at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Thank you to the mod team. Congratulations, Worldwide Wednesday. Until next time, stay secure.